Good morning. I'm Erick Erickson with theresurgent.com. Yesterday, White House staff briefed me on the president's immigration plan. I thought I would share with you guys what I know about the plan. The president is making a big compromise on the ability of Dreamers to get citizenship into the country. 1.8 million Dreamers would be eligible for citizenship after a 10-year period. Now, that's higher than the number the White House floated 2 days ago when the president first suggested citizenship. That number was 640,000, the number of DACA recipients who actually physically applied to the program during the Barack Obama administration. The president's staff wants people to know that he's expanding the window beyond just people who actually applied during the Obama administration to all the eligible people, even up to when he was president of the United States, deciding the program needed changes. That number raises to 1.8 million. Now, there are some people who would say there are still other people who fall outside the system, but those people fell outside DACA as well, and they were okay with DACA. They don't want to be okay with this largely because it's President Trump who is doing it, and they want a bigger ask. Now, conservatives are upset because they think 1.8 million is 1.8 million too many. They're opposed with it as well. Pro-business Republicans tend to like this plan. There are some nuances in the details. First of all, no one is dealing with the actual issue of the parents of the DACA recipients in this plan thus far. There may be a proposal tacked on. It's not from the White House, though. You need to understand that first. Second, you need to understand that the president wants to do this concurrent with increased border security and what they're calling loopholes that they want to get rid of. One of the loopholes the president's team flags is actually a different treatment of immigrants who are deported from this country who live in the Western Hemisphere versus those in the Eastern Hemisphere. There is a slower process to get rid of those from the Western Hemisphere than the Eastern Hemisphere. The White House wants to speed up deportation so everyone gets out of here very quickly if they're deported because of their illegal alien status. Another thing they want to do is end chain migration. Democrats are making this a hill to die on. What the president's team says is they want to support nuclear families and allow nuclear families to immigrate into this country, so parents and kids. However, White House officials did say if there is a situation where it's grandparents who have custody of kids and the grandparents are immigrating, they would consider that a nuclear family. So the Democratic talking point that this would break up families where grandparents are raising kids isn't actually true. The other issue, though, is that the nuclear family itself would have to be unmarried children who are coming with families. They wouldn't allow married children and their families to come over under chain migration. Conservatives are concerned with this because the president wants to grandfather in the existing visa applications that are already there under a chain migration system. There are 3.8 million people who are already in that system. It could take more than a decade to process those people, meaning the immigration flow to the country would still be continuing. However, White House officials would note, and conservatives who are opposed to the plan from a business perspective would note, that the White House is decreasing the number of people overall who would be allowed to immigrate into the country. Big business Republicans are concerned with that. What the White House says, though, is that they want to end the visa lottery program and take the pool of eligible visas for visa lotteries and apply it to high-skilled job immigrants who are in a backlog system to expedite their immigration into the United States. They think that's a fair compromise. Business Republicans are skeptical because, again, the number of overall immigrants into the country would be going down. Now, I did speak to Senator Tom Cotton. Actually, we traded tweets on this. To me, it sounded like the 1.8 million people would be an initial offer from the White House that could go up. Senator Tom Cotton tells me that he's under the impression that is the absolute highest number the president will allow. If the number of illegal immigrants to be given citizenship exceeds 1.8 million, the president intends to offset it from other areas, either by not grandfathering in existing visas for chain migration or of the visa lottery high-skilled worker immigration system. They also want to do upgrades along the Canadian border as well. Some folks are fixating on that. The White House actually sold that as a big initiative that they would be upgrading the northern border. Most people kind of scratch their heads over that. Overall, I think it's a fairly good program. At least it's a good start. I am personally of the opinion that DACA recipients who know no other country, their parents brought them here where they were little, they don't know their families, don't have relationships with people in their home countries, they think of themselves as American, I'm okay giving them citizenship. Now, I realize that puts me at odds with a number of my conservative friends, but I'm okay with that. I do think, though, that it should be people who took the time to apply into DACA, not people who were eligible but didn't apply. I think that's a fair compromise there. That would actually lower the number from 1.8 million, which again I expect to go up. The other issue here is the parents of DACA recipients. I think I'm okay with giving them permanent resident alien status in the country without giving them citizenship status. The president's team disagrees. They do not think they should stay in the country. They're not contemplated under this plan. They are contemplated under a number of plans in the House and the Senate to allow them to stay in the Senate plans and deport them in the House plans. We're still a long way away from actually getting consensus on this issue. The White House, though, putting out a plan that puts the president on a compromise path that both the left and the right are firing at him over. The left because they don't think he does enough, and the right because they think he does too much. It's an interesting position for President Trump to be in, particularly with the core supporters, because the moment he rode that escalator in July of 2015, talking about deporting Mexican rapists and whatnot, a lot of anti-immigration supporters went to the president saying, this is our guy, he will never fail us like George W. Bush did. And now he's proposing citizenship for 1.8 million illegal aliens. This puts him at odds with a key portion of the base, that base of Trump supporters who have been with him since July of 2015. It'll be an interesting needle to watch President Trump thread on this, and it'll be even more interesting to watch some of his diehard supporters say this is a good deal when for years they've opposed this sort of thing. I'm Erick Erickson with TheResurgent.com. You guys have a good day.